California. Please welcome for the first time on Animal House Radio, Betty Blowtorch.
Yay! Woo!
Woo! Ladies,
Here's the
thank you so much
story.
for joining us. Yeah, I know the Brady Bunch boxes, right, Steve? But joining me tonight is my wingman, Killer Keller. Ladies, I gotta
Keller.
thank Steve for putting me on your radar. You guys are amazing, amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
That's my New Jersey. We actually Judy and I grew up, I don't know, 10 miles from each other, maybe.
Really?
I was in Kearney and you were in West Orange, New Jersey.
Yeah, really close.
Oh, really? I'm
Yeah,
from
she
Newark.
was back in the home of Rascals Comedy Club.
Yeah, I'm from Newark
exactly.
originally.
Right down Pleasantdale Avenue there.
Mhm.
Oh,
I saw everybody there. Sam Kinison was actually today's his anniversary, right?
yeah,
His
dad.
birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But Sam Kinison was probably the loudest act I've ever seen. A guy screaming into a microphone with the PA turned up to 10.
Oh yeah, Sam was my idol. That was my mentor in comedy coming up, man. He was like a rock star. Absolutely, he set the bar so high. But that's so cool, Judy. I'm from Newark, where the men are men and the sheep are scared.
Well, my father was born in Newark. My grandmother lived in Newark, and I was actually born in East Orange, and then we moved to West Orange. So.
Yeah. I tell you, the best part about Newark and East Orange is leaving.
Yeah, right. That's so funny. So, ladies, let's start with get some background on how Betty Blowtorch started. What inspired you to get into the music scene? Now, I want to clarify something. I did a lot of research on you gals, and
oh boy,
now you stemmed from the punk scene. Is that what I'm saying? Because it sort of reminds you like the Go-Go's, how they started out in the punk scene, but you weren't pop. You just went right to like that hard rock.
They started off in punk and wound up pop, and I think these girls started off in punk and wound up in hard rock. That's my
pretty much. Yeah.
Blair and I got together when we were in the band Butt Trumpet, and after Butt Trumpet split, I joined a band with Judy called Bobsled. It was punk rock also, and then we all decided with Bianca that we wanted to play rock, and we formed Betty Blowtorch.
Oh wow,
that was put really well. That was well said.
Yeah, and we didn't even rehearse this.
No, I know you girls have probably been asked this.
I have a teleprompter right here. So
there you go.
You know, one of my favorite songs, and there's so many really good songs, but I really love "I'm Ugly and I Don't Know Why," and I love the Butt Trumpet version as well as the Betty Blowtorch version.
Oh wow,
just. I don't know. It amuses me. I almost feel guilty for giggling at it as a man approaching death. I'm not a kid anymore, and it's still funny.
We do when we play it every time.
Yeah. No, I know you've probably been asked this 100 times, but since this is probably going to be the most rudimentary question I ask. How did the name of the band come to be?
Well, Molly Hatchet was taken.
It was really Bianca's idea. I kind of vaguely remember her, in our rehearsal studio, in Burbank when we rehearsed. I remember her talking about, that lady that's like, we can do it, and different ideas. And
she's probably lighting a cigarette at the time, going Blowtorch.
Something. Yeah, it just.
I think that she had gotten it from her dad or something. Who thought?
Oh, really?
The girls that built the bomb, during
they
were the wives that stayed at home, and some of them ended up helping build bombs and stuff. I don't know if it's a true story, but she said that they were called Betty Blowtorch.
You know what's funny, Sharon? That's what it reminds me of. Like when you used to see those old war posters about women helping out. Well, I thought it was either that or it's a name for a porn star.
Yeah,
women helping out. These women could kick our asses.
Maybe we inspire somebody to, I get that name.
I don't know if that's true, but because I haven't heard it anywhere else.
That sounds familiar. Yeah, I think you're right, Onion.
So how have you ladies handled this COVID? I know as artists you're dying to go out and perform live, like as everyone is. What are you girls doing personally to handle it? And is it with all this downtime, is it sparking a lot of creativity to come up with new material and stuff?
It did, yeah, like we wrote a bunch of songs, and we kind of got 3 of them where we like them, and yeah, we've been sending each other, files back and forth, and yeah. So I mean, it's good. It's a great outlet, the recording. It keeps us
Blair
connected.
really has we gotta congratulate Blair, because she's been helping us. She's been doing tons of work on this and helping us through, because we haven't recorded at home before, so Blair's been helping us get the tracks back and forth and doing a lot of work on it, and it's been really fun.
She's making everything, and it's good.
It's a little harder than it looks, just emailing those tracks. It's kind of like, I'm like writing a song a week to stay sane, and then I starting to kick down, and everyone's like, and it's like, okay, let's put it together, and it's like, oh shit, let's put it together. Yeah. So, that's kind of like how I think we're missing each other playing, and it's just like it's kind of weird, like not having that, like there's like a certain dimension that's just gone away from the creativity.
Right.
And it's just, you have to reroute it. It's been very interesting.
Yeah, I did an interview last week with Belinda Carlisle, and she said the same thing. Now she's in Bangkok, Thailand, and during this COVID, she said,
nice.
Bangkok.
Yeah, even emailing back and forth, like it can get so tedious and stuff, and it's not the same thing as being in a studio.
Mm-hmm.
Did you girls have a lot of gigs scheduled this year before this COVID hit, and then everything had to get canceled, or?
We had no shows booked. Right?
Oh, two.
We had a couple of shows, but yeah, we were working on things, because with Mia joining the band, like officially, it's kind of been more recent than not. So it's kind of, we're, as far as like booking for this year, we would have really been booking for later in 2021, because just our timing of really solidifying the lineup.
Oh, wow.
So
Steve?
That was a long answer, but no.
No, that's fine. I love it. Steve?
Well, I'm going to ask something selfish here. I'm in a band called Ripped. When you guys tour, if you come to the East Coast, will you allow me to book a gig for both of us?
Yeah.
Totally.
No, I would love that.
Are there any plans for coming East?
Right now.
Yeah, right now. Nothing.
Not right
it's so hard.
Yeah. It could be like a homecoming for you, Judy.
Yeah, I was going to say, Judy, do you still have family?
I do. I have cousins who are, most of them moved down to South Jersey now. So.
Oh, that's where we're broadcasting from. We're in Tom's River right this minute.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Tom's
And
River is nice.
I live in, where the hell do I live? In Manahawk and by Long Beach Island.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like I said, everybody can't wait to leave East Orange and Newark.
Now, Judy, let me ask you, when it comes to the writing process for the band, is it a collaborative effort, or is it one person delegated to do that? Or, I mean, I'm talking about pre-COVID, like under normal circumstances.
It's definitely everybody is collaborating. I mean, we'll have different, usually like Blair will come up with a riff, or Sharon will come up with a riff, and then they'll say, hey, what do you think about this? And in person, we'll jam on it, and how it's been kind of going now, it's kind of been going back and forth between us, or, hey, do you like this drum part? Or, hey, I think we should extend this. So everybody, definitely contributes to the material. But, the songs that we've been working on now have basically come from Blair had so much material. It was hard to narrow down what to start to pick from, because she had so many great riffs, and then Sharon had a riff too. So we narrowed it down to kind of those three, and started working on those.
Right. Sharon, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Blair.
I just want to interject that in the beginning.
No interjecting.
This is important. Somebody might learn something from this. But when we first started to do this, and like we kind of got a song together, and Judy laid the drums down and this and that. I don't know who said this, but someone said, "Hey, let's throw another part in that song, or let's make this part longer." Meanwhile, we had everything down.
Oh
So
yeah, I think
it was that Mia. So it's like, damn. So we recorded the whole thing. We started all over again. Yeah. So it's just a little pointer that, if you do it this route, to get the song down before you actually start recording.
Right.
Anyway, that's it.
Recording is a funny thing, because you can go in there totally rehearsed and get yourself, a very quick track, and that's great. But sometimes building a track in the studio is great too, because you don't know what you're going to get. Now that's the gambling way, because it could be expensive, but I love that just as much.
Yeah, if we were in a studio, it'd be different. But because we didn't jam out the tunes, that's the thing. You don't jam out the tunes, so you kind of like after like a month of listening to it, it's like, oh no, this will sound better this way, and it would. So we did it. But that's part of like the whole process of not playing together in the same room. And
it's hard because of the pandemic, because I know like me and my vocalist, another Steve, we're very into improv type stuff, and the drummer, wants to strangle us because you're not rehearsed. It's like, yeah, but we're going to come up with something fine. But it's all a matter of perspective.
Yeah. You know what I liked about reading up about you? Once I got listening to the music, I fell in love with it. I got to say, you have some of the most interesting song names I've ever seen in my life. Sharon, let me ask you, was your draw to the punk music the fact that it was so free and you could be yourself? Because that's what I see when I listen and I watch you girls. It's all about being yourselves and being your true inner selves and just letting it all hang out there. Was that the draw of the music initially?
I think so. I think it was just silliness and, having fun and just doing, kind of getting, especially with butt trumpet, getting totally out there. And then Betty Blowtorch in a whole different way is kind of pushing ourselves a little farther, because we're pushing the nuttiness, I think, in both of those bands.
Now, let me ask you, this goes to all three of you girls. What were your influences growing up? Like musically, what attracted to you to it? What made you know that this is what you want to do? Just you want to be musicians and performers?
Alice Cooper, Johnny Rotten, Sid Vicious.
Both of those. That's really good. It was for me, it was Kiss, Alice Cooper, and then there was also the Ramones, Sex Pistols.
See? So look at that. I didn't know. I had no idea.
It was the punk rock and roll, like.
But that's because we come from the same cloth.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Yeah. That is what influenced everyone. I mean, the funny thing about the Sex Pistols, they had no interest in commercialization.
Right.
They went gold.
Yeah.
7 out of 10 songs. That's like a greatest hits album.
Yeah. It's pretty. Yeah.
That's wild.
Well, what about you, Judy and Blair? What were your influences growing up? I mean, I'm talking.
She's from Jersey, Frankie Valli.
I used to see Frankie Valli in the ShopRite, and my mom would be like, "Oh, stand up straight, it's Frankie Valli."
He's from Newark.
You'd be in the ShopRite. You'd see him in the store. Yeah. I've always wanted to play the drums. I was always very, tapping around on stuff, and my parents weren't that musical, so it was like, where did this kid come from? But I remember being young and like sneaking into the city to see, the Ramones or Blondie, and I just kind of pick records, the Runaways. You see the Runaways and you're a kid, it's like, this is fucking
CBGBs
awesome,
too, hanging out over there.
Yeah, and I was in a band called Faces of Eve, and I was really lucky. The girls were all older than I was. I mean, my mom had to drive me to rehearsal, but they would sneak me in, and we would play, CBGBs or Kenny's Castaways and the Bitter End. And
Oh, wow, yeah.
What was the
Yeah.
name of the band? I missed it.
it was called Faces of Eve.
That
Oh,
sounds that
cool.
rings a bell to me, actually.
Hmm.
And
Now, drum wise, Judy, were you self-taught or you had to take lessons?
a little of both. I took, in 4th grade, you start playing the drums in school, and I did that for a while, and then I kind of was like, I just
She
want
used to
play in a
walk the East
band.
Orange and practice on people's faces.
Yeah.
You know who I took lessons from, who you guys would know? Probably the best lessons I ever had was from a drummer named Steve Becker, and he played with Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes.
Yes, yes. Wow.
He is the most influential teacher that I
know
had.
some of those guys to this day. Yeah.
Yeah, just an amazing musician, a great guy. Just stay in the pocket. Your job is to be on time, and just a really big influence on me.
Yeah, Bon Jovi's right down the street. He tells us to get out of here all the time.
Yeah, right. Sharon, what about you musically? Did you have to take lessons or you learned on your own?
Who did you ask?
Sharon.
Sharon.
Oh, I'm sorry. I answered.
Did you have to take guitar lessons or you were self-taught?
Malcolm.
I actually didn't start guitar till I was in butt trumpet. I was playing bass in butt trumpet, and I don't know why we decided to do that, but we had Dan for a short time, so we ended up having, for a very short time, 2 basses and 2 guitars, and I kind of liked the sound of 2 guitars also. So we ended up mid-tour kind of deciding we were going to do, instead of 2 basses, we were going to do the 2 guitars and bass. So I just learned on the road pretty much, and in practice. Like, they were super patient. I sounded like shit.
Oh, wow.
Set and listening, going, oh my God. But yeah, I just ended up learning how to do bar chords and in butt trumpet. So I didn't.
We mentioned Kiss and Alice Cooper and all that, but the coolest thing, Alice Cooper started off as a parody, and then they went on to be Yardbirds and Rolling Stones cover band. They used to actually call them the Rolling Clones back in Phoenix.
Oh.
And you start from nothing, and those guys, Neil Smith and Dennis Dunaway, I've got to know them to an extent, and they might not be the best musicians in the world. Together, they ruled the world.
Yeah.
It's just
that chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the chance to check out some of the documentary snippets of it, and it's fantastically done. And just seeing what you girls went through starting out, such adversity, tragedy. And I got to say that one of the things I noticed, that how it molded your character, it made you stronger. One of the things I liked that was mentioned, and after I listened to your music, I couldn't agree more that
you listen to their music.
Absolutely, and I have you to thank for it. But that a lot of people compare you to that you can hold your own against like Judas Priest and Guns N' Roses. You have that heavy sound as well as holding your own with the same type of bands in your genre. So I think that's a big testament to you girls.
Oh, thanks.
Well, thank you. Thanks very much.
Quite honestly, when I first got the Are You Man Enough album, I hear an album that Axl should listen to remember where he came from. That's my take.
Wow.
The crunching rhythms and the wah and arrangements. That's the best Guns N' Roses album they haven't recorded. And I don't even know if that's an insult, and if it is, I'm sorry.
Oh, we love Guns N' Roses, so Duff
I hear it.
Duff produced the first EP that we did, right, as Betty Blowtorch?
No. Oh, wow.
We recorded home studio to them.
Yeah, I'll have to get that to you. Yeah, there's
absolutely, yeah. So tell us now you have
a shirt too. I'll send you the money tomorrow.
Oh,
yes, I want to. Yeah,
I'm an XL.
I'm a double X.
Don't worry about it.
I don't know if you have enough X's to fit on me. Yeah. There's more X's on my clothes than on a treasure map. Let me tell you.
So you think they got Iron Maiden money?
So Blair, you sent us the song. Judy sent us the song. Blair, let me ask. Tell us about the. It's labeled drum solo, but this was supposed to be included on the "Are You Man Enough" album, and it's an instrumental song, which we're going to play in a minute. But was that intended to be instrumental?
I don't think so. I think that we were hoping that at some point there would be words, but I think, yeah, I don't know. It's like one of those things that just like got left behind on the album. It's like, oh, we have enough. And it's like, we don't really have words. And, I don't know, like what exactly, I don't really remember exactly what happened, but we recorded it anyway because we were in there. And yeah, so we were hoping, but it didn't happen with the words.
Let me tell you something. I'm not big on instrumental stuff, but I tell you, when I listen to this, I actually, I'm going to have to talk to you about this off the air, but I want to use a portion of that as an intro to the show because it's so heavy and it's so cool.
Oh, cool.
But
Yeah.
so you're gonna actually, Judy, you found it. You were diving through your treasure chest of stuff, and you found all this cool stuff. So this is it called drum solo? You didn't really have a name for it.
Just call it drum solo. So
I think that we called it drum solo because, like, especially at the end, she's just ripping like her drums, like just it's really, once you hear it, it just names itself. It's amazing.
It is amazing. It's really a pick me up. All right, so this is a unreleased track. It's called Drum Solo, which was supposed to be on the Are You Man Enough album. So let's check this out.
yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Fucking love those
That's
drums.
it's an
How you
awesome
started
song.
off, man. I
love
was
your guitar.
disarmed. I
Judy,
was like,
you're
this
a
is
beast
really
on those
pretty, and
drums.
then Betty Blowtorch showed up.
Oh my,
Yeah.
Judy, now let me tell you something. That guitar sound, and I may be wrong, I may not know my ass from my elbow, but I hear Satriani.
I heard Rush
Huh.
I
in
hear
one of the
Bill
transitions.
Satriani, and Judy, you're a beast on who's doing that's Sharon and Blair on the guitar, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, she's doing.
I heard a
Claire's doing the lead.
grunt in the beginning. Who's vocal?
Oh, there's no vocals on that, is there?
There's
Yeah,
not
no.
even
Well,
not even a
Maybe
cue.
it was one of us or
Let me
something.
tell
Yeah,
you
because I thought I heard it because it's the first time I heard it, so I didn't get to study it. I thought I heard like,
Let me tell you something. That you don't need words for that song. I think that you should open up with that song and end with that song, like as your anthem. I think
and
that
do it the 11 songs in the middle.
We could just do the
Carla wants to
11-minute
hear
version.
94 minutes of that song.
yeah, but like I said, I'm not big on instrumentals, but I love this one. Steve Bello, Eat Your Heart Out.
Thank
but-
you.
So you're gonna release that, or what's the plans for that track now? Is it gonna go on a bigger album or a single?
I think we have some live stuff that we put up on Bandcamp. So I think we're gonna just probably release it on Bandcamp ourselves and
just
go
that.
from
You're
there.
not gonna add lyrics or
Was that recorded back in the early 2000s?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the same recording session as Are You Man Enough? So it's
Okay,
Bianca's
that's
on
right. Yeah.
bass
Like I
and,
said, I didn't hear it or read the email. So,
yeah.
hey, can I get sad for a minute?
Okay.
I don't want to bring you down or nothing, but it's a. I saw the documentary. What was it called? The True Life Adventures of Betty Blowtorch. Did I get the title right?
The Amazing True Life Adventures of Betty
What's it called?
Blowtorch. The
Yeah, amazing.
True Life Adventures.
Yeah, I only saw it once, and I need to buy it and own it and love it and do everything
yeah, I
to
wanna
it.
see it. I didn't see the
It's
whole
really
thing.
a good movie. But were you all present the night that Bianca wrecked?
No.
No.
No. You weren't in the vicinity?
I was.
Who?
Yeah.
I mean,
I was there.
I wasn't in the vicinity. We had it was like 4:00 in the morning, and she left with this guy who was like a fan of ours that we kind of knew just from coming to gigs, and so she left with him, and yeah, but it was kind of weird because in the van going back to the hotel, because he had a red Corvette, and we passed an accident. The accident was on the other side of the freeway, and it was like one of those freeways that are like 5 lanes going on each side, and it's like way the fuck on the other side, and yeah, so we were like just driving home, and we looked and we saw this mangled little red car on the other side, and like everybody got silent in the van, and then we just said nah, it just couldn't be. So I mean, we weren't with her, but yeah,
Definitely.
I'm even sorry to bring that up, but that's such a major. I mean, it's a major downer, but it's a major reality as well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I didn't get to know her, or I learned about your band afterwards, and that's a very sad thing because I like her, and I didn't even know of her until later.
Yeah,
and I'm very sorry. That's really it must have stopped you short.
Yeah.
It stopped everybody. Yeah, like everybody, like all of her friends and the fan, like it was just amazing how many people just like stopped short. And,
right.
Because with Butt Trumpet, was it Butt Trumpet, Sharon, where half the band walked out, or was it Betty Blowtorch, where half the band walked out and you were on tour and you said, oh, well, and you kept going. They drove away with the U-Haul and...
Yeah, that would be Betty Blowtorch.
That was Betty Blowtorch, and you still
although people did
continued
walk,
on.
yeah, people did walk out on Butt Trumpet too. So we were kind of.
I remember that from the
they're just part of our
documentary.
history,
I saw the movie.
Leave us,
I saw the movie years ago, and like I said, I got to get a copy because I haven't been able to find it since.
I only saw snippets of it on YouTube, but
so good. But I'm going by foggy memory, and it was just amazing.
Blair, I'm sorry, Steve. Blair, let me ask you. With that tragedy, was there a point where you didn't think that the band would survive this, and you would just want, we're done? You know, but amazingly enough, you did survive. But
yeah, totally. I mean, kind of for years, like I kind of thought that, but it was just a really bad road to go down, like kind of living with that feeling. And, you know, that just couldn't happen. So yeah, it was there. But eventually, you know, like time heals, and it's like, thank goodness, you know. Really,
I'm glad you guys are still around too, making music, and hopefully you'll make more in the future. All right, so we're gonna uplift this a little bit. So
I'm sorry to bring you down, man.
No,
just you know what? It's a real piece of the band, and I am sorry.
Yeah,
I wanted to make sure we acknowledged her and her contribution, and obviously she will be missed. So I put together some questions. They're a little off the wall, so feel free to whoever wants to answer. So we'll start with number one. Which one of you would be most likely to be caught up in a sex scandal?
Probably me. Oh, you meant that? Okay.
I would actually have to say that would be Mia, but she's not here now.
Okay. Nice deflection.
Great answer.
Right. Blame the one that's not here, right?
Number one.
Okay.
Hey, you know.
Number two. Who would most likely be involved in a drunken bar fight?
Mia.
Yeah, well, she's a troublemaker.
I see a pattern.
That is probably true.
That's going to be the answer for all.
I would say Sharon.
Sharon? Oh, Sharon. She looks like a closet tough guy.
I'll teach her participating,
you don't want to
right?
mess with Sharon.
Okay. When grocery shopping, who among you is the coupon clipper?
That'd be me.
Coupon clipper.
Mia?
Me? Okay.
She's going to do every interview from now on.
Which one of you would be more likely to attend a craft fair?
Oh,
that would be Mia. For real.
For real, Mia.
For real with her teas.
She's quite a character,
She's
Mia.
crafty.
Mia is like the Mia of 1,000 faces.
She's like the Tommy Lee of the band, right?
Yeah.
All right. Which one of you would be more prone to bouts of road rage?
Man.
It is Mia. Have you ever driven with Mia?
Yo, you're pulling my leg now.
Yeah.
No, man, you haven't met
We're
Mia.
not fitted.
Okay, all right. Who would be more likely to have carnal knowledge of a groupie on a tour bus?
Mia.
Sharon?
I would say Sharon.
Sharon.
Sharon, you dirty stay out, you.
It's the Jersey, you know.
You vote for Sharon.
She had one in every town.
Maybe a long time ago, yeah.
Maybe a long time ago. Okay.
Right, not now. No. Listen, Mia's like the Academy Award. She's sweeping every category here.
She is.
All right, who among you secretly eats healthy and or works out?
That's usually the drummer. I don't know.
Blair?
I would say Blair first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried,
I
but
love it. Mia blames. All right. Which one of you would be more likely to send food back at a restaurant?
Not me. I'm afraid of the cook.
Carlos.
I don't know.
Carlos. I don't know.
Definitely me. If I don't like it, I'll tell you like it is. No,
I don't know.
It could be me because I'm vegetarian, so I've ordered food and meat, comes with it, and I have to send it back.
yeah, right. I'm not afraid to send it back if it ain't right. How could you do that?
How do you order vegetarian pork chops?
Well, stuff like you'll ask, is meat in this? No, there's no meat in it, and you order it, and there's meat.
There's
in it.
meat in it. Yeah.
Well, that's not that actually nowadays that sounds totally illegal and dangerous. Because when I was a kid, I'm going to give you a quick story. When I was a kid, I fell through the ice into the lake in West Hudson Park and Harrison, Kearney.
Oh my
I fell through the
God.
ice.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, I fell through the ice. And good thing hypothermia wasn't invented yet, because I walked the 2 miles home.
Yeah.
And nowadays, if you fall through the ice, they're calling the ambulance, and you're quarantined for 3 months, and but things change, But
All right, so we got like a couple more here. When driving in the car, who would be most likely to listen to love songs?
No one.
No one.
No one?
Not
Okay.
in this band.
And you never know. Some people have a soft side.
Size Queen is not a love song.
Yeah. All right.
Part-time hooker is a love song, really.
There you go. Who would be more likely to watch the Lifetime or Hallmark Channel?
Melissa Gilbert?
Oh,
I say Blair.
Blair? Oh, Blair.
I don't know. I was going to say Judy.
No, I don't want. I was going to say Sharon.
Well, you know what? It's Mia.
We got them turning on each other. I love it.
I'm going to post all the answers. I'm going to put me on everyone. She's gonna be, what the hell is all this? I don't have road rage.
She does.
Who would be most likely to sing in the shower?
That's where they write everything.
Mia, she's the singer.
Mia.
Yeah, she ain't even here. She's the I tell you, wow. All right. Who among you would be most likely to go to a male review show? I think I got to say Sharon, since she said she would have carnal knowledge of a group.
Let's say Sharon.
I say Sharon too.
Sharon.
Oh,
yeah,
Sharon.
that's unanimous.
The old Sharon, probably not the new Sharon.
Yes, we have to.
I actually remember with Benbow Tool Shed, we ended up after the show going across the street, and they had a peep show, and the windows coming up and down, and so I have.
Wow.
Well, we have been to many. Let's not go there.
No, come on.
We live in Nebraska. Nebraska.
Hook your jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. All three of you, Bianca, Blair, and Judy. Yeah, they all.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Nebraska was fine.
This is a cool one.
It was a good time.
Who would most likely have a warrant for their arrest?
Mia.
Yeah, she has.
That's why she's not on the air.
What are the rest of you go home after the show and go to sleep, and she goes out and does all these crazy things?
I think she probably was arrested, when she was younger for a couple of times. I think she was like beating people up or something. And no, I'm just kidding.
I got my answer to question 13 then. Who among you would do the most damage in a street fight? Mia.
Judy.
I'd say Judy.
Judy, all right.
Jersey, yeah.
No, Jersey girl.
Look at those arms, man. She could like kick.
The Jersey.
Yeah.
She's got 24-inch pythons like Hulk Hogan.
Hell yeah.
You got the three Sopranos here.
I think I stood behind her a couple of times too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
When we were on tour, I think it was in Sacramento, me and Blair and Bianca tried to move Judy. And I don't know if we were trying to get her to take a shot or whatever, but we could not even budge her. All three of us.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone talking to Brooke. I was talking to Brooke Olsen, and you guys were all trying to pull me.
When Judy gets mad, is it like Hulk smash?
Hulk smash!
Listen, I don't want you to get offended by these. We're just lighthearted questions.
No, it's good.
No, so everybody in our chat room's going, we got to meet Mia.
Yeah.
I'm dying to meet her. So that just wanted to, just a little lighthearted questions here, because I actually got, like I told you, I got the idea from watching you girls ask Betty Blowtorch. I thought it would be a cool idea. So, Steve, you got anything you want to add, or?
No, just I'm really a fan, and I'm glad to get to know you girls, and it's a lot of fun. Love the music, the sounds on that album. I mean, I know why that album didn't chart, because nobody's heard it. We got to get that album heard. and I'm glad that you're in rotation on Animal House
Thank
Radio.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
really a good
Thank you
album
very
because
much.
you know I know how music works, and if you don't hear it, you can't love it. Let's get that
Yeah.
music out there.
Well, you girls have our support 100%. And I'm not gonna. I'm going to address the white elephant in the room. Who was the girl that just passed by in a towel?
Ooh, come back! I missed something. Oh my goodness!
Guys,
Is that
Hey,
Mia?
sweetie.
Is that Mia? That troublemaker that she is?
Yeah, it's my wife.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
Come back.
encore.
There's never a dull moment with us, that's for sure.
So let's. I want to get a cool road story from each of you, and then we'll let you go for tonight. So we'll start with Judy, since she's
Oh,
my
boy.
peeps from Jersey.
Cool road
Something that you may
story.
have not have said before. Give us some vintage Betty
Let me
Blowtorch.
think.
Yeah, something like this is Judy from Betty Blowtorch. These girls are sluts.
No.
No, that's not even nice. I'm sorry.
Well, we used to throw hostess pies at our tour mates. We would like to have fun on the road, and we would do things. If you watch the documentary, there's some in there, and there was this. We would be, really nice, and we'd buy a whole bunch of pies for us, and we'd buy like 2 pies and go, "Hey guys, we bought you some pie." And then, we'd be driving and we'd pull up next to them and we'd have a sign that says, like, "Hey, you want to taste some pie?" And they'd be all like, "Yeah." And then it was all over. We had a whole system. Blair would drive. She had like defensive driving down, and then Bianca would throw, and we would have the unwrapper and the thrower and the window, the person that worked the window, and we would just demolish them. And I remember one time the cops came up, and we're like, "Oh shit, here goes the cops." And the look on these cops' faces when they pulled up, like, what the fuck, because the car was just covered. There was pie everywhere on the highway and all over, and the one cop just busted out laughing in the car. He was dying laughing, and they let us go.
Oh wow!
Fun on the highway.
Wow, that's
That was a good story.
All right, Blair. What about you? I know you got a juicy road story.
Well, just to add on to that, as part of my road story, the pies were cool, but then we kind of progressed into maybe some eggs or some balloons with like some pee in them, or it's like we got creative.
Oh my God, that's too.
Yeah,
funny.
I mean, you're driving thousands and thousands of miles.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right,
Friday is pie day.
Right.
From the Viper Room to Hoboken.
Yeah. All right, Sharon, give us one of your groupie stories. Come on, give us this. Just to reiterate, this is the old Sharon, not the new Sharon.
Yeah. Well, there was this dude, and I married him.
Probably, huh?
That's kind of true.
That is
Yeah.
kind of true because my husband was working at Bar Deluxe, and it actually started from like way back when Judy and I were in tadpole and bobsled.
Jobs,
And,
yeah.
and we used to play there with each band we were in, and it started out where I thought he was just an asshole because he gave us the hardest time. He came in with stickers. All of our merch was in this clear glass or see-through plastic, I guess, box, and we had T-shirts, stickers, we had earplugs. What else do we have? I don't know. We had all kinds of stuff, and he told me I couldn't bring the stickers in, and I was like, "Why?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, because I'm the one who has to go to the walls and take them all off.
They put them in the urinal, and I don't want to touch it.
Yeah. And I was like, what a jerk, And then then the next band, the same thing. I think I came in and I was on antibiotic with the next band we were in, and he actually worked the bar that night, and so he asked me what I wanted to drink, and I said, just give me some cranberry juice, mixed with orange juice. And he just looked at me like, "You want juice?"
Was the antibiotics for the clap?
It was a urinary tract infection.
Oh, that's what you were calling it. You're right. It was a urinary tract infection.
But
Okay.
it was for the
Don't
same
tell
reason.
anyone.
But
Yeah.
I like that story though. It's like, don't bring your stickers in. I love you.
It's so funny how sometimes it's the guy that you don't get along with first, and you wind up liking them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then there was another band. We did some covers, and so we were playing all these great covers, X, and I forget who else, Judy, you probably
Oh,
remember.
yeah.
But yeah, and then we ended up playing, you remember that, who was that song?
Blur.
That
Blur.
Blur.
Right?
We did that Blur
Yeah.
song. Woohoo! So that was the only new song at that time. It was new.
Yeah.
And when we were done, he was like, I like all those songs, but why did you play that? Blur. What was it? Who was it? He goes, why did you play that? Yeah, Blur. And he goes, that was. I don't understand. That was lame. And I was like, damn. So then it was funny because when we were in Betty Blowtorch, we were playing there again, and I think he told our friend Carol, who was one of our Blowtorch girls, he was like, so what's up with Sharon, blah, blah, blah. And she told me, she goes, hey man, there's someone here that, wants to know what's up with you, And I said, okay, who? And she goes, well, it's someone that works here. So I'm thinking of the bartender, I'm thinking of everybody. And I'm like, well, it isn't the doorman because that guy's an asshole. And she goes, actually, I was like, the elementary school kid who's like punching me because he likes me.
Is he there?
So
Now you're cleaning the doorman's bathroom.
I've got a sign over the toilet that says, my aim is to keep this toilet clean. Your aim will help.
Well,
Fucking doorman.
now, what was the reasoning behind the pyrotechnics? Was that just something you just wanted for the wow effect and to doing the shows to accentuate the music, or?
I think it was like part of the name and the Kiss thing, right?
Yeah.
We loved Kiss and that they had the, pyrotechnics and all that stuff. And we were so cheesy. We were like, well, we should do pyro, but we can afford these little, 4th of
Roman
July
candles.
Yeah. And then, the guy bands always had the women in cages dancing around, and we're like, we'll have girls too. And so that's kind of, we just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, there goes the bell. Yeah.
Hey, Linda.
It's like a shooting gallery. It's like, I gotcha.
That's a bonus. Thanks, Claire.
Oh my gosh.
This is a family show. What are we doing here, Judy? So, Judy, out of all the bands that you worked with, who was your favorite to work with? What band did you tour with that you gelled really well with?
There's no wrong answer.
Besides Sharon's lovers.
Mia.
As far as, are you asking Blowtorch, all the bands we've toured with, who's gelled the best with us?
Who was your favorite to work with? Who did you really
gel? Motor Christ was really fun to play with. Those guys, just good music and a fun time.
No STDs.
We played with so many good bands. We played with Duff McCaden when he did Loaded, and that was awesome. That was fun to do. I'm trying to think. There was a band in Denver called the Pinups we used to play with. I don't know if you guys remember those girls. They were fun. So, it depends on the area. There's Swamp Ass, Jake, and those guys from Swamp Ass.
I hate Swamp Ass.
Yeah.
So it just there's
hey, hopefully
many.
in the future you can say Ripped, because when you come to the East Coast, I'm going to book a few shows for us.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Going into 2021, do you guys have any dates scheduled? I got to imagine that you guys are anxious to get back out on the road. We
are anxious. We don't have any dates right now, so if we do, it probably wouldn't be till the end of the year because, we didn't really cancel because we didn't book because we didn't really have a full lineup until.
Right.
Yeah.
Where did you find Mia?
Where did we find Mia?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Hollywood
it's
and Cahuenga.
Oh yeah. Just
she was
standing
like-
there on the corner?
Was she on the
Yeah.
corner? Is that where Sharon met her husband?
Close.
She was the doorman.
She was the bouncer.
Blair was in a band with Mia. After Betty Blowtorch, Blair was in a band called the UVs with Mia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's kind of a long story. Like, yeah, it started after Betty Blowtorch. I started a band called the Blair Bitch Project, and Mia, she was just hanging out. You know, she was just like, I don't know. I mean, she just wanted to be around and hanging out or whatever. And she didn't really play, but she really wanted to play. And so at that point, she started to teach herself guitar, and she started to write songs. And eventually she started a band called the UVs, and I played with her then. So it was kind of, she was.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
No, oh, wow. That's, I mean, I got to give you girls credit. I really hope that you guys get back out on the road and come to Jersey. But Judy, you're also teaching drums now virtually?
I do teach. I taught for a while in between bands, and I've always kind of, had a couple students here and there, but I am, there's no shows and you're kind of at home. So I've kind of ramped up my teaching, and I love kids. So I have like, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have like 12 students a week. So
nice.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
yeah, it's awesome. I do have some slots available still.
Well, you know why I'm asking you, because
But,
my son Dante, he came to us and said, I want to play drums, and I was a little worried. You know how some kids, they do things and in 10 minutes they lose interest.
Yeah.
But we went to one of those commercial places, and there was always a billing issue with they're billing you ahead of time, and then the teacher kept canceling on them.
Yeah.
And so we stopped, and then like it's months later, and he's like, I still want to play the drums, so I'm trying to find someone to teach him.
We'll talk. We'll talk
do it.
if you want. Yeah.
I gotta get that Jersey discount.
All right. Yeah.
But I cannot.
Drum lessons don't fall off the back of a truck.
No, just the drums.
I really enjoy working with the kids, and I went through all of that where you had the teacher that gave you the book and you read from the book, and it's kind of boring and stuff. So I try to use more of what Steve Becker taught me. Every week is something new, and what is it that you want to learn, and to try to teach. There are certain things you have to learn. You have to learn the correct way to hold the sticks, and you have to learn, rudiments and certain techniques. But also, I want each kid should be their own drummer, should be their own person. And I think, from playing all these years and all these different bands and all these different people, everybody, there's chemistry, and everybody has what they can bring to the table. So I really try to encourage each kid to, instead of I want to play like so-and-so, how about, you want to play like yourself, and, let's find out what those strengths are. So that's kind of how I go about teaching. 3
drummers that come to mind. You, Keith Moon, and Neil Smith.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. That's complimentary. Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, those are 3 drummers that do what they do. That's total personality.
We got to throw in our buddy Carmine a piece. As
Hey,
you know what? Carmine totally. He's a smart dude, but he knows that commercial is his meal ticket. I like Vinny. Vinny's approach is no love songs, and Carmine says no work.
Yeah. Hey, Judy, when I've heard a lot of different philosophies when it comes to teaching drums. Is it correct to teach them songs, or you got to teach them? Because I heard that's not the correct way to teach them.
Patterns, probably.
Yeah, I'll try not to get some hate mail here, but I understand why people say, oh, the kids get bored and they want to learn songs. But what happens is that, drumming is like steps, so you have your sticking, and you have, those are like, in my opinion, it's like the letters, you have single strokes, you have double strokes, you have some, and those are letters. And then you put them together, and that makes rudiments. And all these things help you with stick control and being able to be independent and left, right, and coordination. And then you group those together, and they become sentences or parts of songs. So I feel like what happens is I try to, you start off basics, quarter notes, eighth notes and things, and you find a song that's appropriate. Because what happens is a lot of times, and I do have some of these students that have come to me that I can play this song, or, they put the sheet music up in front of them and they play the song. That's great, but they can't do a lot of the basics. And because they can't do the basics, it's very difficult for them to play fluently or for them to jam on a song. I have a student now who reads phenomenally, but if I say, take your sheet music away, play a beat, man, the kid is lost. And so I personally don't agree, that that's a good way to teach by just teaching them songs, because they don't have those tools that they need to figure songs out on their own. They don't have, those steps that they need. They get one groove in their head, boom, boom, sh, boom, boom, sh, boom, boom, sh. But then it's like, okay, well, move your hand here and do sh, sh. They can't.
Right.
And then it's a big blow to their ego, so you have to be really careful, because you don't want to now discourage this kid who thinks, they're, I'm playing a Slipknot song, and that's cool, but you can't play, but you can't keep time.
What happened to my son? Yeah,
we can't. It's so hard to tell people before they start. You have to suck before you're any good, because a lot of people won't get past the suck. They just try and it's like, oh, it's too hard, I quit. You know what I mean? You have to suck.
Well,
that holds true for guitar too, right, Steve?
For music in general.
They
for
teach
poetry, for music, for art,
for everything,
acting,
really.
For comedy.
Yeah.
You have to suck.
And that's
before
what happened
you're
to
any good.
My son, he went to the lessons. He came home. He was so excited. They taught him, "We Will Rock You," and then that's the only thing. Then he got that in his head, and then they taught him the Imagine Dragons song. And then after that, like, it was hard for him to learn anything else. Which, nothing against the songs, but it speaks to what you were saying, that it's not a good way to teach them.
It's a really hard way, because it kind of almost sets the kid up for, in my opinion, it kind of sets them up for failure down the line, because they start to learn certain patterns or certain songs, and they're like, I got this. I know how to play the drums. But they don't really know how to play the drums. They know how to play a pattern. Right. They know how to play that song. Yeah. And, what I try to tell people is that, if you're going to start to play the drums, you're doing 1, 2, both feet, 4 things, plus you're talking 5 things, plus you're looking around or you're moving. That's a lot to be doing at once. So you're going to get frustrated if you think you can come in. It's like a marathon. I can't go out and run 20 miles. Nobody wakes up and goes, I'm just going to run 20 miles.
You got to quit smoking first. Yes.
You start and you run to the corner, you run a mile, and that's really the same kind of philosophy with the drums is, you got to learn, you got to be able to control your hands. You got to have strokes, and you put your foot in, you build.
If you want to get a hold of Judy and you don't have her information, just send us a message. We'll forward it to Judy.
Absolutely.
You need your lessons from Judy.
No,
Thank you.
Steve, you want to do the honors with the IDs?
Oh, yes. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I tell you, man, that album, let's re-enter it into the charts. Are you man enough?
Thank you.
But in the meantime, would you mind individually or together giving us a station ID? You're listening to Animal House Radio. If you want to go one by one, I'm Judy, I'm Sharon, whatever you want to do.
Or you can do it as Betty Blowtorch. That's up to you, gals.
Listen, motherfucker.
Should we try it together?
Yeah.
Work
it out, man.
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
We're Betty Blowtorch. You're listening to Animal House Radio.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Count us in, Karen.
When you're ready, you go.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. We're
We're
Betty.
Betty
Blowtorch.
Blowtorch.
And
You're
Start
listening
again.
to
I heard
Animal
bloody. I don't know what bloody blowtorch is.
Here we go.
Okay.
Ready? One more time. 1,
Okay.
2, 3. We're
You're
Betty.
Betty Blowtorch.
And you're listening
You're
to
listening
Animal
to
House Radio.
Okay, Judy, count them in.
1, 2, 3. We're
Betty Blowtorch.
And you're
You're
listening
listening
to
to
Animal
Animal
House
House
Radio.
Radio.
Are you bad enough?
Oh,
All
no,
right.
that's
Yeah.
Well,
How about we do it? Should we do it all one at a time, or what? Like,
What
Yeah,
do you
all right.
like, man?
Go
Because
ahead,
we'll
Sharon.
play them. We'll play
Just
them.
we'll do it separately. Sharon, you just say, "Hey, this is Sharon Needles from Betty Blowtorch," and you're listening to Animal, and then we'll go right down the line. When you're ready,
All
you
right.
go.
Hi, this is Sharon Needles. You're listening to Animal House Radio. Oh man, I said it wrong. Okay, wait. This is Sharon Needles from Betty Blowtorch. You're listening to Animal House Radio.
You're right.
There you go. Huh?
nice.
All right, Blair, you're up.
Hi, this is Blair, and you're listening to Animal House Radio.
Awesome. All right, Judy.
All right. Hi, this is Judy from Betty Blowtorch, and you're listening to Animal House Radio.
Hi, Mia from Betty Blowtorch is not here, but you're still
Poor
listening
Mia.
to Animal House Radio.
Who's going to break the news to her that she won every category? But,
There.
I just want to say thanks again, ladies. Continued
Thank you.
success.
Thank you
Stay
so much.
safe, and you have an open door anytime you want.
Oh, thank you
thank
very
you.
much. I appreciate it.
And I
Thank
hope
you.
you
And,
both
of
had,
fun.
I hope you had fun above all else.
We
It was
did.
great.
Thank you.
We had a blast.
And
Thanks
we'll
for
send you some shirts and some giveaways.
XL.
Thank you so
XL,
much.
XL.
Thank you,
XL.
girl. Yeah, I
Okay.
really love the band, love the album. And when you come east, you got to tell me, all right?
We
Okay.
will. I'm going to take you up on
Absolutely.
that.
Maybe we'll set
Yeah.
something up. You never know. The Brighton Bar. We got to
I tell you, man, we
Yeah.
got some really iconic places. I call it CBGB South, but
All right.
Oh, nice.
All right.
rock and roll, baby.
All right. I want to
Thanks,
thank
guys.
everybody. I want to thank Betty Blowtorch for coming on tonight. I want to thank everybody for listening and watching, and especially my wingman, Killer Keller. Join us tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Jason Begay from Chicago PD. Don't miss it. We'll see you all right here next time on Animal House Radio.